What's up, everyone? This is Oslin with another heroic boss guide for Blackrock Depths. This time we'll be covering General Angerforge. This will be the 6th boss that you'll find after clearing the Lyceum. Before we get started, don't forget to tap that like and subscribe button to help support our growing channel and stay in the loop on future content. The Lyceum is essentially a Mythic Plus gauntlet filled with environmental obstacles and large trash pulls, with General Angerforge patiently waiting for you upon completion. The gauntlet will start as soon as you trigger the first set of Anvil Rage soldiers. From here, the ground will erupt in swirlies, avoid those, and cannonballs will shoot in sets of 3, with a short reload time in between. You'll want to use the columns to Frogger your way over to the large group of Anvil Rage soldiers in the distance. For tanks, do not try to bravado your way to the first group with that world first mindset, because as you push your way through the gauntlet, rogues are going to jump out and attempt to gank your raid. From here, you're going to focus down the officer, as its commanding aura will increase the damage of nearby allies by 100%, decrease their damage taken by 50%, and make them immune to interrupts. Their shatter armor will also inflict heavy physical damage to the tank and place a permanent debuff that increases the tank's physical damage taken by 15% until the end of the encounter. One of your tanks should pull the officer at least 20 yards out of the group and then taunt swap as needed to ensure the debuff doesn't stack too high. The Anvil Rage rogues will also pop out of stealth and fixate a target. They can shadow step behind their target and reduce a player's movement speed by 50% for 5 seconds with crippling poison. In addition, their Sinister Strike will place a stacking debuff on the player that will extend the duration of crippling poison by 1 second per stack. The Shadowforged Flamekeeper will be your primary target in this group. They'll cast Ring of Fire that will place a 2-phase ring on the floor. You need to step out of that to begin with, then step back in. Players caught in the Ring of Fire will take 3.9 million fire damage. Once the group is dead, you'll proceed towards the first Harbinger of Flames around the corner. From here, you can eliminate the Dragoons and Artillerists to stop the cannon fire and floor swirlies. You'll need to use the Shadowforged Torch from the Flamekeeper on the Brazier to lower the shield on the Harbinger of Flames. The Harbinger also has an ability called World in Flames. This channeled ability will inflict a 500,000 damage every 10 seconds, with the damage amping up by 18% every 20 seconds until all 3 have been defeated. You're then going to cross over towards the next Harbinger of Flames with a handful of rogues and now sappers mulling up to slow you down. Be careful with the sappers, as they'll detonate for 6.9 million physical damage to all players within 5 yards the moment they touch a player. From here, you will ignore the nearby Harbinger, navigating the cannon fire and swirlies past it to the next group of soldiers and rogues, as well as an officer. Use the columns for cover as needed. You can also have a ranged DPS pull this pack near the second Brazier to avoid the Dragoons and Artillerists completely. Next, you're going to engage the Artillerists and Dragoons in the distance, and follow the wall to reach the next group with the Flamekeeper. Once the Flamekeeper has been defeated, backtrack to the second Harbinger, light the Brazier, eliminate the Harbinger, and then head for the middle of the room. You'll now take on General Angerforge with your remaining raid members. These mechanics are pretty straightforward, and you should have the entire Lyceum for maneuvering the boss. Like the officers, General Angerforge has Commanding Aura, increasing damage of nearby allies by 100% and decreasing their damage taken by 50%, while also making them immune to interrupts. Shatter Armor will inflict 2.9 million physical damage to tanks, applying a 15% damage increase on top of any stacks you picked up from other officers. Dark Iron Bombs is the one to watch out for. It'll scatter 10 bombs towards random players, and stepping on any of these will cause them to explode for 2.6 million fire damage in a 3-yard radius. You can avoid these by simply pulling the boss backwards as he scatters additional bombs. Fireburst Grenade will toss a grenade in the air and explode for 3.9 million fire damage to all players. You can avoid this by ducking behind a column. And lastly, just be wary of the mole machines that'll pop up from time to time. These will summon Anvil Rage minions to assist General Angerforge in combat and deal heavy physical damage to players struck by the mole machine. If you wipe on Angerforge, you will have to do the entire Lyceum again. And that's it for the General Angerforge encounter. I hope you found this guide helpful, and let me know what strategies you have for dealing with this boss in the comments below. Until next time.